From the days of outhouses into today's modern plumbing, one thing's always been true. When things go wrong, you notice fast. That's where plumbing inspections, and especially sewer scopes, make all the difference.
Fresh meat. Making sure our camera is clean. Going down the roof vent. Fast. Right now trying to get the camera through a 3-inch vent, but it looks like it's kind of already caving in at the riser. There we go, we are able to get the camera through. Looks like the guide is too big to be able to go through. Half the pipe down below is covered in cast iron and it's blocking itself. What we will do is take off the guide and see if we can't just run it with the camera. Let's try this again. It is broken halfway through at the 20-foot mark. We won't be able to get the camera through this 3-inch vent. It's actually blocked. Like so much buildup from the cast iron and who knows what else, but it's actually blocking it. On the video, you were able to see that like the camera was not budging through, like just a big block of something. That thing is blocked and the camera can't get through it.
You smart. You very smart.
So today we're actually having to pull a toilet so we can actually put a snake through it just because the vent unfortunately is clogged. The bathtub is backing up anytime you flush the toilet and the water's coming out from underneath the toilet. So right now we're checking out to see if we need to snake it and possibly camera right after. So at this moment we have Ian taking off this toilet. It is being a little bit of a struggle just because of how it was installed. But this is the only form of finding out what's going on with the actual system. Most likely has something to do with the cast iron either being just clogged up from over time, and I mean that's what cast iron does. It pretty much just starts enclosing on itself because I mean there's a lot of things that get flushed or put down the drains, and I mean it all ends up at one place. So that's what we're waiting to see.
Just afraid of. Oh no, yeah, it's fine still.
Nice.
For right now.
Real quick so we can maybe scope it before.
But I definitely have closet bolts, everything that I need.
Okay, I'll grab some gloves and the camera then. All right, let's take a look to see what we have. All right, definitely cast iron. Definitely, you can actually tell from the venting that I went down yesterday right here. It looks like it's actually encaving in itself, and that's probably why we really couldn't get down into it. Hopefully it's not too much of a struggle to get the camera down the rest of it. That's what I was talking about yesterday. This is that blockage that I had seen on the vent itself. This is why the toilet's backing up into the tub, just because it looks like it has a lot of cast iron in it. It has other unknown things, and we should be able to snake it up. But that's what happens with old cast iron.
Back in the day, plumbing looked more like a Three Stooges routine. Lots of clanging, slipping, and a whole mess left behind. Thankfully, we've come a long way since then.
That's why it's good to move on to PVC, just because it's a better material. And I mean, over time, even PVC has to be replaced just because of what we use on a daily, as in shampoo, soaps, everything causes a reaction. That's why every so often you should always have your sewer scope just to see what's going on. You never know if you have root penetration, if you have clogs like this, especially out here in Bethany. There's still a lot of cast iron out here. We're trying to do our best and show people what is in their system because they might not even know. There was this one issue maybe a couple blocks from here It was actually right before you hit council. These two backyards were sharing one horizontal line and dumping into the same riser. So anytime this customer was backing up, this customer would back up, just because they were sharing one line. And how they got away with it back then, we have no idea, but normally we just install a new tap and saddle, new PVC, 2 cleanouts, one to the home, one to the main, and right in the center of it is a backwater valve to prevent any sewage from backing up. And that's pretty much how you solve the problem.
I don't even have the main thing.
So basically, this is for residential homes. We put the snake in there, that way we're not damaging floors or damaging walls.
Is it still there?
Yeah, it's further down the line now. You can actually see the water moving inside of it. And then again, we just come up to that blockage. Like, I don't know if you could see it right there. That's where your blockage is at. See, that's where the T is at. And that top piece is what goes to the vent. And then we're gonna try going down this T. We come up to that 90 fitting again, and that's where we keep getting stopped up. Just that one spot that has all that cast iron.
Old galvanized pipes were like hiding spots for little monsters. Rust, leaks, and breaks at every turn. These days, it's more like magic. Out with the monsters, in with modern pipe.
Yep. Okay, at least we made it out, so now that way we can actually come back out here now, start snaking it from here out. So right now we're about to drop into the vertical line. You could tell right here that it's already starting to pretty much crumble in. It's just old pipe, and you can actually see the collapse right there, right as we enter. And then it's just sitting over the main from the city. That's the clay main right there. It was just shoved on it. Like there's nothing actually holding it in place to actually dump into the actual main. And then once we actually go into the main, can't really see much, but the main actually looks like it's in decent condition. We will have to actually put a new tap and saddle to actually hold that riser in place. So not only does this customer need a new line from here to the riser, but they also need a new clean out, a proper clean out that actually goes into the home, a backwater valve that sits in the middle to prevent sewage from going into the home, and then another clean out that actually goes to the main itself. So this is what we consider bailing, where the pipe is sagging so much that it's actually holding water and material inside of it. That was one there, starting at 49 feet. As you can see, it continues, and then stops at 40 feet. Then it's clear. Then starting at about 20 feet. We're starting to dive back into water, coming back to the actual clean out itself. And this does have a guide on it. The camera's actually lifted from the actual bottom of that floor. For it having that much water in there, you could see that it's definitely holding more than half of its capacity. And then we come up from the riser. You can see from the riser itself that it was just shoved into the pipe. It wasn't much of a thought at first. You can actually see that there was a 3-inch pipe put inside of this other pipe right here. So pretty much it was just shoved in. It wasn't properly installed. So what we would come and do is actually delete this. And once we actually run a new PVC line we would actually give it 2 cleanups, one to the home, one to the actual main.